Hello everybody, and welcome to episode 51 of the Let's Play World. This episode is going to be kind of all over the place. There's a bunch of things I want to do today. I want to talk a little bit about future plans, some future builds. I want to talk a little bit about the data pack we're using. So let's start things off in the planning room. One thing on the wall of tasks was a challenge to reach 100 subs from Selka Gaming, and we did that. We're just over 100 subs, so thank you guys who joined the channel recently. I really appreciate it. And because I used your comment and your suggestion, Selka Gaming goes up on the Wall of Fame. One thing I've had on the wall for a bit and that I want to work on for the next few episodes is the village. I got a comment from Happy Face that suggested a city, and I was thinking, you know, why not both? What if I was to build like a big downtown area with skyscrapers and that kind of thing that then turned into maybe a little bit of an urban area and then out into more of a suburban area with, you know, smaller houses and things like that. It'll be quite the project and it'll take a long time, but why not? So I'm going to pull that off the wall and we're going to start another section here. We're going to call it the Kingdom. Under the Kingdom, we're going to put the village. And we're going to add the city. And that was suggested by Happy Face. The next thing I want to show you guys is some path ideas. I want to build a path from the base across the bridge over to where we're going to work on the village and the city. And I want a path that is a little bit versatile, so it would work in a village and it would work in a city sort of build, you know, with skyscrapers and things like that. I did get a comment suggesting we build a yellow brick road, and while this is a really fun and cool idea, the amount of resources involved here is staggering, and I just don't think it's going to be practical. So I'm going to show you guys three designs here. The first one is just kind of the classic Minecraft street. It's just a mix of the gray blocks, so you can see I've got little clumps of stone, little clumps of andesite, little clumps of brick. This is what it would look like next to, you know, natural block, and this is what it would look like next to a sidewalk. And this is just a real simple, good-looking street. Second option I have for you guys is much cleaner. It's just stone and stone bricks, where you can see perhaps this has worn a little bit, and it's much simpler, not as noisy, looks fine with a sidewalk, looks fine next to natural blocks, not nearly as much going on, so the focus would mainly be on the buildings, not on the street itself. And the third option takes this just a little bit further, stone and stone brick, but again, a little bit of wear down the middle utilizing the new deep slate block. And I think that, especially for well-traveled areas, does have a convincing, you know, kind of look of wear, which is kind of nice. Looks fine next to natural blocks, looks fine next to a sidewalk. And we could mix some of these, you know, in the city we might do something a little cleaner, and perhaps once it gets a little bit more villagey, we could make it a little bit less maintained, a little more tore up. So these are the three options I want to present you guys. Option 1, option 2, option 3. Let me know what you think, leave me a comment, or if you think one of these could use a little bit of a tweak, leave me a comment about that as well. I'm going to have the path start here, and it's going to go across this field off to the bridge, and then across the bridge and off to our village and our city. The last thing I want to talk about is the data pack that I'm using. For those who just subscribed, I use a data pack right now called Michael 9R9R's RPGLoot. And what this data pack does is it adds tougher mobs, it adds some cooler gear, and it also adds some unique mobs and unique gear that you can find. Now I've gone in and I've made some adjustments to the data pack to help me tell a story. So let me recap that for you real quick. So several episodes ago, I found this book in a cavern, and the book tells the story of this ancient kingdom that used to be here. It said, "Trespasser beware, you have intruded upon the cursed kingdom of Bahari and awoken its fury." And it explains that there used to be this peaceful kingdom a long, long time ago that was home to a king and his 6 sons. And things were fine, but there were these threats that were starting to come from the Nether, and they needed help. And so this sorcerer appeared, and he met with the king, and he made a deal that the king would be invincible and that his sons were going to be impossible to defeat in battle. All that the sorcerer wanted was to be allowed to remain in the kingdom for as long as it stood, and the king accepted the deal. Of course, it turned out to be a curse, and things started to get twisted and dark, and the king and his sons ended up falling to the sorcerer's influence and becoming his minions. And then the kingdom started to fall apart and time went on. Of course, we came along and we started to rebuild in the footprint of the old castle, and we have reawoken this curse. And so now we have these really scary monsters, and occasionally we run into the sons or the king or the sorcerer. And we have fought them over and over, but they keep coming back. And so that's about all that we knew until I found this second book. The second book is called David's Journal. This book is a journal kept by David, the oldest son, and he explains how he was the last one standing and that he was afraid that he was going to fall to the curse as well, but that he had found a way to defeat the sorcerer. So it says here, the deal that my father, the king, struck with Malmog was that he would be allowed to remain in the kingdom as long as it stood. What I need to do is eliminate the kingdom. That makes sense. If I were to overthrow my father and declare a new kingdom, the curse would break. It is written in the old text that whomever possesses the king's sword is the rightful ruler. I need to get the sword from my father, or what used to be my father, and establish a new kingdom. It's a long shot, but it's the only chance we have. Today is the day I will face him. Either I will lift the curse and free our land from the darkness that plagues it, or I will fall to it as well. Well, we obviously know that didn't go very well. But it sounds like if we could fight the king and get his sword, we could declare a new kingdom, which would effectively break the curse, and then when we fought Malmog and his minions, we could defeat them once and for all. At least that's what I'm hoping. Speaking of legendary loot, I found a couple other things. So I had shown you guys the lie, which was a crossbow with a floating middle projectile, quick charge multi-shot. I showed you the legendary leather tunic, and then I showed you the legendary leather pants. I found a legendary rabbit's foot, which increases your speed almost 16%. I found a legendary diamond chest plate. Unfortunately, it has cursive binding on it, but it adds 10.5 to your armor. It adds to your armor toughness, a little bit of a health boost. And then I found some legendary diamond leggings. They have unbreaking and mending, which is dumb because it's unbreakable. Adds 8 to your armor, so quite a good set of leggings, and then a 7-point boost to your health. So these are pretty incredible. I found a legendary shield, which I think I shared with you guys already. I found another legendary crossbow. This one's called Javelin, and it has piercing 10. So this will go through all the mobs. It just won't stop. If you had a line of zombies, it would go through all of them. And again, it's unbreakable. And then I fought Malmog that one time on camera. I ran into him again, fought him, and he dropped something called the Sorcerer's Blood. It's a potion, and it adds speed, invisibility, and absorption for 30 seconds, 20% boost to your speed. So that's a really cool potion. And of course, I will keep you posted if I find anything else cool. Oh boy, I've got myself in a little bit of a pickle here. Vorduk and the King. A million monsters. Sun is coming up. Oh gosh. Oh boy. The king didn't drop his sword, but he did drop an axe, and this axe is a legendary axe called Skull Splitter. It's efficiency 5, unbreaking 3, fortune 3, legendary, unbreakable, 23.92 attack damage. Just for reference, my netherite sword is 11 attack damage. This is more than twice the damage that my best sword does. This is pretty absurd. That's amazing. A little slower, but that is a hard-hitting weapon right there. I told you guys this episode was going to be kind of all over the place, and I think that's where I'm going to wrap this one up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you had fun. Please like and subscribe if you want to follow along on the adventure, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.